Hey, good morning, everybody. I don't know how it could be any more gorgeous and beautiful than it is. Sunny, warm, a summer-like day, and we're getting ready to set up with the MB as our dear friend Valentino goes by here. Buenos dias, Valentino. All right, we got a lot to talk about. Weather's starting to come around. The bluefin are chewing. We'll check on Ensenada. We'll go up to San Francisco and so much more. Let's get ready. It's time for the MB.
Yo, Phil Friedman.
Hey, what's up? Who gets a hug first, me?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, my friend.
Nice
Thank you.
Hey, tell him your name. Lucky.
Nice to meet you.
This is Lucky. What's
How
up,
are you,
Phil?
man? Good to see you.
man.
Whoa, I love your shirt.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Paulina.
Hey,
How are
Paulina.
you?
Yo,
Nice
man.
to meet you.
And you already got to meet Michael down there.
Yeah.
That was really cool, huh?
All the team. And she's my mom, Bernice.
I got to tell you, one of the highlights of our surf fishing event was for me to have met Lucky. What a great guy. Man, that really meant the world to me. His father, JD, has fished on many of our charters, and he has told me that Lucky loves watching the morning briefing. So it was a thrill for both of us to have finally met, and it was really, really great. And I know Paulina felt exactly the same way. Wow, what a great moment in time for all of us.
Hold her on.
Later. That's my line.
What are we doing here, Phil?
Hey, Marcus, we've got all kinds of bandages, walkers, medical supplies, and Dan and I and you and Paulina, we're getting it all together, and we're going to give it to Paulina. She's going to take it down to some people who really need it in Mexico. So once again, I want to thank everybody out there who contributes to all that we're able to do south of the border. Without you, none of this happens.
Bye, Michael. Nice to meet you. I really enjoyed the weekend with you and everyone.
I enjoyed fishing with you.
Hope to see you soon.
Hope to see you soon too.
Very soon.
You can let go now.
Bye, Mike.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California, here in Southern California on a gloriously beautiful summer-like morning. It is beautiful. What a way to start the work week this beautiful Monday morning with that gorgeous Eastern Pacific behind you and a lot of great fishing going on that we're going to get into with you all. First of all, however, Paulina and her mother, Paulina Varela, is my co-host when I'm in Ensenada, Baja California. She spent the weekend up here, went out of Ventura sport fishing on the Island Spirit. So many of you had a great time with her. We had our surf fishing event here in SoCal. Got to meet Lucky. Good morning, Lucky. Got to meet so many of you, and so did Paulina. And then, of course, we were bouncing around from big fish bait and tackle, also over there to island fishing tackle. Doug Tilk making so much of this all possible, as well as so many of you who contributed to make Paulina's stay such a great one. And then we sent a whole mess of medical supplies down with her. She's arrived in Ensenada with her mom. Everybody's safe and sound. It was truly a weekend to remember. All right, we've got so much to talk about. Let's get into it. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. So good. So good. And so great to be with you all. You don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate that. Share these videos with a friend. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and click that little bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. Also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We deeply appreciate all that and more. Don't forget, if you want to jump over to Catalina Island, you can do it on the El Patron. The El Patron runs out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, limited load, great trips, www.longbeachsportfishing.org. And the Island Spirit awaits you up there out of Ventura Sport Fishing, fishing with Captain Daniel Hottaway and his crew. Well, there's just nothing like it. I know you'll have a great time. Give them a call at 805 676 3474, or you can go to VenturaSportFishing.com. All right, let's go south of the border and start talking about what's going on down there. We're going to start you out in Ensenada, 70 miles below the border, Paulina's hometown. And I got to tell you, there is some great signal and sign going on down there. Wow, those bluefin put on a show yesterday on the Soledad Bank, not very far from Ensenada, maybe 10 miles outside of Todos Santos Island. But man, they did not want to bite. The whole fleet, I think, may have caught one or two bluefin tuna out there yesterday. All show and no go. That has not been the case. We've seen some outstanding offshore bluefin tuna action. Hopefully it was just a down day and the guys are on it today. We'll see what happens as this plays out. We've seen fish on the Mad Mac troll. We've seen fish on the Cold Snipers. I've seen surface iron fish taken down there. It's mostly 10 to 40 pound bluefin tuna, occasional yellowtail on a kelp, but mostly the bluefin tuna, and it appears that it hasn't gone anywhere. It just didn't want to bite. And what else is new with bluefin tuna? That is exactly the way those little devils like to act from time to time. Just kind of teasing you. When you're throwing the iron, you don't want to do that with anything less than 40 pound. I suggest 50 pounds. Sometimes those fish can get the jig down pretty far, and then their teeth are wearing on the line. So fishing fluorocarbon, which is abrasion resistant, and fishing heavier line is a great way for you to make things happen and be successful in your next outing. Now, inshore, closer to Ensenada, along the coastline and several other areas, we continue to see some really outstanding action on sand and calico bass. There's shallow water rockfish. There's rockfish offshore a little bit further that have been biting pretty well. And also we see the occasional flurry of barracuda, but most of the boys are concentrating their efforts on those bird schools of yellowtail. A bird school is fish underneath birds that are feeding on the bait that the sport fish or the game fish are pushing to the surface. In this case, the yellowtail. The yellows find a school of bait and they start to feed on it. The bait trying to escape gets on the surface, and then you'll see the yellows breaking water. And the birds, of course, are exploiting that whole natural scenario by picking off bait. You keep your eyes open out there on the horizon. When you see that going on, that's where you want to be. And your pongero, of course, is really tuned into that. They're going to see that and they're going to run full speed over there. And then it's up to you to get an iron right in the middle of it and take a couple of winds and hopefully hook up to a nice grade yellowtail. They're mixed in terms of their size down there right now. We see some 4 or 5 pound yellowtail. We see some 18 to 25 pound yellowtail. But I would say the vast majority are that 8 to 15 pound fish. Nice grade, a lot of fun, great weather. The winds are starting to come down. It has been very, very breezy. It's starting to lay down. Not perfectly flat calm offshore, at least. Inshore is beautiful. Offshore, still a little breezy, but not that bad at all. Definitely very, very fishable. So Ensenada, 70 miles below the border. What a drive that is down there. It's beautiful. That is going along pretty well. Hopefully that bluefin tuna switch goes back on again. The long range scene out of San Diego has been absolutely magnificent. 7 and 8 day boats are headed down to Alijos Rocks and the Ridge, some parts of the Baja Coast where they've been finding white sea bass and calico bass. It has been a spectacular year, no question about it. The XL has been finding outstanding yellowfin tuna action. I mean, the kind of action where you throw a bait in the corner on 60 pound, on 80 pound, and you get a bite. Fishing that heavy line when those fish are biting, that is an indication that the intensity is off the charts. It's wide open and a lot of fun. 50 to 80 pound yellowfin tuna, full speed on the XL. And for several of the other guys who are focused in on that area where you can get well in a hurry on the yellowfin tuna. This has been going on for a while, ladies and gentlemen. It has been red hot, great fishing at the rocks. There's also quite a bit of yellowtail mixed in with it. We've seen good yellowtail fishing on the dropper loop at night. And then if you get into the right area, you focus on that yellowtail, some good fly line fishing on the forkies also. Really, really good stuff. Of course, there's been some wahoo down there mixed in with this. There's been some decent scores on the wahoo here recently, and then also some other miscellaneous stuff. Or, you know, you're catching some grouper and some stuff like that. The Royal Polaris on the beach catching great calico bass. Man, big, fat calico bass. I don't know how you can beat that, man. Down the Baja coast, that's where you'll find some of the most outstanding bass fishing you could ever imagine. Way back, probably in the early 80s, I'm guessing it was. My brother Paul and Bob Alvarez, dear friend of ours, were fishing San Martin Island. My brother Paul threw an iron and caught a 12.5-pound calico bass. Beautiful fishing. Man, the Royal Polaris was some good fishing. Also, some white sea bass in the coast, in that coastal region also. So nothing wrong with that kind of fishing. Unfiled taxes, you need to give Tim Marquez a call. Tim's a great Friedman Adventure family member. I know him personally. I trust him. Give him a call for all your tax needs. And another guy I know personally and love very much is John Lopez from Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. If you have heating or air conditioning needs, call John right now. Let's talk Tanner and Cortez Bank. Wow. I just have to stop for a moment and marvel at how beautiful that truly is. It's gorgeous here this morning. All right, Tanner Cortez Bank, about a 100-mile run for landings from San Diego all the way up to the Channel Islands. The weather is starting to cooperate finally. It's been nasty out there. Still a little bit breezy, but starting to come around, and we're starting to see more and more fish. We've got to turn, however, first of all, to the Freedom right up the street here at 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. They put the hurt on a magnificent day yesterday. They had limits of bluefin tuna. What a hit on the BFT, and then it turned into straight, nice grade yellowtail, and they ended up throwing on, in addition to that, 70 yellowtail, limits of bluefin, 70 yellowtail. I ask you, can it get any better than that? And they're running regular trips out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, 310-832-8304. Huge day, excellent fishing. Doesn't get much better than that kind of a bite. The Pride out of there, 22nd Street that is, also had a great day previous. We mentioned that to you yesterday, that it looked like things were trying to change and turn, and that is some pretty darn good fishing. Really excellent fishing going on. Polaris Supreme had a night bite on the bluefin tuna, fishing the jigs at night. Here we go, biting again. And Robert Alamillo, he went 2 for 2 on the bluefin tuna. Said it was very brisk and exciting action on board the Supreme. 200-pound bite leaders and jigs with this wind still up there in the 350 to 500 gram range. Drop when the captain tells you to drop, and drop to the exact depth he tells you to by using metered line that changes color every 100 feet, and you'll be in the zone. Being in the zone, being where the fish are, is perhaps the most important thing you can do. Way more important than the color of your jig or the kind of jig you have. Hell, these things are biting torpedo sinkers, eddy bombs. So get to the zone. Get there fast, and you'll get a bite, man. That's the way to do it. You got to stay up and work hard at it. So nice hit on the Polaris Supreme last night. Now, there has been some slower trips out there in that bluefin tuna zone, but it seems like this thing is about to change. Pacific Dawn, 15 guys, 2 days, 16 bluefin to 180 pounds. New Loan, 18 guys, 31 bluefin tuna to 200 pounds. The Tribute, a day and a half trip, 25 bluefin tuna, 8 yellowtail. Scores are starting to change. I think we're on the verge of this thing popping back into gear. We went through that big super moon, that big full moon, and that just put these fish in a funk that is wearing off. Fish are starting to bite. Weather's improving. It's looking good. Don't forget, the best weather months of the year in Southern California and Northern Baja are the fall months. And we've got 2 trips for you with very few openings left. The Apollo out of Seaforth Sport Fishing in San Diego in late September, and then the Amigo in October out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, send me a text. Don't call. Send me a text, and then I'll return your call. 657-227-6459. All right, let's talk islands, because the islands have been red hot, especially the Coronado Islands. We got the boat pressure off of there. You're going to see some scores up there in the 70s and 80s today on the sport boats. I'll guarantee it. Well, I don't know if I'll guarantee it, but I'm pretty confident that that's what's going to happen. A lot of boat pressure, but a lot of great fishing. The Lucky Beach yacht out of Fisherman's Landing only had 2 guys on there. They limited out easily on the yellowtail with 10 yellows, and they also had a couple of bluefins. And over the weekend, we did an interview with Marcus Fain about how to catch Coronado Island yellowtail. He goes into great detail. If you're planning a trip to the Coronado Islands and you want to know what paperwork you need, but more importantly, how you can catch more and bigger yellowtail at the islands, go back and listen to that live broadcast. Just search for the live broadcast. And the last one we did, I think, was with Marcus Fain. Incidentally, we will be live tonight from Island Fishing Tackle in beautiful Carson, California at 6 p.m. You can ask Sam De La Torre any question your heart desires about tackle, about technique, tackle tips, and so much more. Island Fishing Tackle, Tackle Shop Confessions tonight, live at 6 p.m. Don't miss it. So some good stuff going on at the Coronado Islands for Michael Parrish also. He took his wife and sister out fishing, and they put the hurt on the yellowtail. Excellent fishing, nice big grade yellows on an absolutely gorgeous day. Nice going, Michael and crew. Way to go. The San Diego yesterday with 26 yellowtail at the Coronado Islands. Other guys are getting a good piece of it. I want to say in the 20s to 40s yesterday for other sport boats that were there. And they're also wandering off and catching the occasional bluefin tuna at San Clemente Island. Seems like that calico bass fight is backed up. Although many of the guys, when they get into the island itself and just focus on island fishing, are focused on yellowtail, so they kind of let the calico bass get away from them. If you really put some effort in on that bass, it's pretty good. Whitefish, some rockfish, some pretty decent yellowtail fishing, and sometimes at night you'll get flashed even on the white sea bass or early morning hours. At Catalina Island, we continue to have some decent calico bass fishing over there at Cat right now. Many of the boats like the Pursuit out of 22nd Street Landing, the El Patron out of Long Beach sport fishing. Other guys who've been fishing there are finding some good bass fishing. Anglers who dropped that fluorocarbon down to 15 pound are doing really, really well on the calico bass. So keep that in mind. It's such an important factor to your success. You can get the GL4 fluorocarbon from Promar Ahi by going to www.promarahi.com. But put in FA at checkout, and you'll be rewarded with a 10% discount. Remember, lobster season's not all that far away, and you'll be able to knock 10% off anything on the Promar Ahi website by putting in FA at checkout. So keep that in mind. Good fishing at Catalina Island, and hopefully that's going to continue. As we move you up to the Channel Islands, an occasional sea bass and halibut, but it's been mostly rockfish up there in that neck of the woods. That's not to say that guys are not getting a little pop in from time to time on some yellowtail and also some barracuda and calico bass, a little bit more sand bass along the coast up there right now. The Island Spirit with a huge day yesterday on their Kids Fish Free Day with lots of rockfish, providing excellent table fare and lots of smiles to everybody on board that very special rig out of Ventura Sport Fishing. So that is some really good stuff. The Gray Light had 4 yellowtail yesterday, so they had a pop on the yellows. They've been focusing a lot of their attention on yellows and having some decent success on the forkage up there. So we have seen pretty good yellowtail action at times. Not wide open, don't get carried away here, but a little bit of yellowtail up there in that neck of the woods. Let's talk about the Southern California coast and San Diego. Their local bite this year has been really good. I mean, they catch some white sea bass and yellowtail, sprinkling of that, really steady calico bass fishing on many of the trips, and also some pretty darn good sand bass fishing at times. Nothing wrong with the bite down there. Daily Double, their PM trip, their afternoon trip yesterday, 62 calico bass, 3 white sea bass, a yellowtail. They also had a lingcod, and that was for $21 Anglers, that's some pretty darn good fishing if you ask me. The dolphin had a 25-pound halibut. They had pretty good sand bass fishing and a white sea bass yesterday. So again, that bite in San Diego has been good. A lot of short calicos out of Oceanside and Dana Wharf, sport fishing and picking at the rockfish and whitefish and that kind of thing. Up here in the LA Orange County area, Long Beach, San Pedro, we've seen some really good bass fishing that backed off. I don't know if it was boat pressure or what. We'll see today. Boat pressure is off. It's a Monday. We'll see if that bass bite comes back. But it was mostly sculpin here. The Monte Carlo had a few bass, not bad at all, but mostly sculpin for those boys. And the Victory, same kind of a scenario as well as all the other local boats. You look at that ocean, and it just tells you, man, come out here and fish. There's got to be some barracuda. There's got to be some bass that want to bite in that beautiful, absolutely pristine weather here this morning. But we'll see. It's been mostly sculpin and rockfish up and down our coast. All right, let's talk the Southern California surf. We had our surf fishing extravaganza to welcome Paulina from Ensenada and her mother here to Surfside, California, and it was fun. Brisk action. Caught yellowfin croaker, leopard sharks, smoothhound sharks, guitar fish, barred perch, spotfin croaker, probably leaving out a couple of species. It was really, really fun. And of course, the girls went down to Big Fish Bait and Tackle in Seal Beach, California, on the corner of Seal Beach and Pacific Coast Highway. And they loaded up with some surf fishing gear. So when they go back to Ensenada, they'll be prepared to make things happen. Big Fish Bait and Tackle is giving away a beautiful custom surf fishing rod every single month. All you have to do is purchase the ruler there. I don't know, it's $5, $10, something like that. It's cheap. And then you are in the tournament. They'll tell you all about it. They'll tell you all the rules. They'll tell you what species we're trying to catch this month. It's really a lot of fun. There's been some really good surf fishing action up and down the coast. Hopefully that's going to continue. Great rockfish up in Morro Bay. That has been fantastic. San Francisco, the new Huck Finn was out. They creamed the ling cod with limits of ling cod. They're all over the lings up there now. They've gone from wide open halibut and stripers now to lings. If you're interested in sand dabs, had over 1,000 sand dabs on that very same trip and a bunch of rockfish. Everybody going home in San Francisco with some great eating fish. No doubt about that. All right, my friends, I'm not sure about Danny Cadota's show tonight, but that's a possibility also around 3:30 this afternoon live from 22nd Street Landing. I haven't been able to contact Danny quite yet, but that might happen also. And definitely Tackle Shop Confession, 6 p.m. tonight. You're not going to want to miss it. That is going to be absolutely a lot of fun. We'll be able to reminisce about Paulina being here, and then we're going to talk fishing. We're going to talk about the hot bites in Baja and Southern California. And more importantly, you'll be able to ask Sam De La Torre, hey, Sam, what tackle do I need to be successful on my next venture? What do I need? And Sam will run around the store, get it, and show it to you, and really teach you exactly what you need to know to have a successful outing your next time out. All right, my friends, don't forget Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're there all day long for you every single day. Thanks for all you did to make Paulina's trip so special here. I really, really appreciate it. And if I don't see you at Tackle Shop Confessions tonight, come out and have some chicken wings with us after at SoCal Wings. You're invited. Just show up there at 7:30 tonight. SoCal Wings right next to, of course, Island Fishing Tackle, and we'll eat a chicken wing together, talk some fishing. Have a great one, and I hope to see you really, really soon.